I'm a very open and I like to go deep. So I'm spilling all the beans.
Perfect.
I like to go deep, so we're good.
Any questions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Go ahead and check your headphones, and you are number one. So just go and speak into your mic a little bit. Make sure you can hear your own voice, and then if it's too loud or too quiet, you can adjust it right there.
Okay. No, it sounds perfect.
It's good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's do this.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, everyone. I am very excited to welcome Hanna Stone to the podcast today. Welcome to David's Saturday Night Sit Back. Hanna grew up in Israel. She left home when she was 14 years old, bounced around a few different dorms, joined the Israeli Defense. What's the F stand for? Remind me.
Israeli Defense Forces.
Forces when you were 17 or 19?
19.
19. Did that for a couple years. Went to culinary school in Israel. Made it to Vegas, then made it to Austin, Texas, where you're now working as a personal trainer, nutrition coach, helping women and men lose up to 25 pounds and keeping it off. You have a bunch of very specific things that I was excited to read about, listen to, research, and discover. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Super excited.
Before we get started, I want to shout out one person, my friend Daniel Thornburg. So Danny and me met 16 years ago through his brother Aaron at a music festival in all places in San Diego. I don't remember how the three of us met. I don't know why we started talking. Me and Aaron remained friends the whole time. We've stayed in contact. Me and Danny mostly just talked if Aaron was there, so we weren't really directly friends. I started this podcast, and to try to grow the listenership when the first couple episodes dropped, I just blasted everyone in my phone. Seemed like a good starting point, right? And I think Daniel is probably my biggest fan so far. He's listened to every single episode. He likes every single thing I post on social media. And then last Sunday, I'm about to jump in the shower, and my phone says Daniel Thornburg FaceTime. Oh, he's calling. And so I turn it on, and he was elated to talk to me about the guests, the production, give me ideas for the social media. And I feel like it almost sort of rekindled a friendship, but also formed like a whole new one, because now we're, friends directly without Aaron being in the middle. So Daniel, thank you so much for being such a fan of the show. Yeah, it means the world to me to get those phone calls,
That's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome.
So you grew up in Israel. Can you talk a little bit about what that was like?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Israel. I grew up in a very Orthodox background. Like, I came from a super Orthodox religious family. Like, my parents are, like, super extreme. It's almost like a cult. Yeah, not fun.
What about it felt culty?
Nothing is allowed. No internet, no radio, no TV, no... I mean, there's a lot of things that are like not allowed, like let's say on Saturday. And so like Saturday, it's like the day of rest. And so you're not supposed to cook or, drive or whatever, things like that, or use devices and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like it's just like everything just not allowed. Everything is forbidden. You're going to go to hell, kind of thing.
Do they still practice like that today?
My parents, yeah.
Or so anyone within that Orthodox community, it's still going pretty strong in Israel.
Yeah.
Imagine if you took an American teenager and thrust them into that for like 30 days.
They would kill themselves. Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
Oh my God. It's no, I can't imagine that.
Of your 10 siblings, do you fall near the oldest, youngest, or somewhere in the middle?
I'm exactly in the middle, okay. So I'm like a heart attack burger.
A heart attack burger? I've never heard that term.
Because if you think about it, if you're a sandwich, it's just a tiny little sandwich. We're 11 siblings.
Right.
So I have 5 older than me, 5 younger than me. So it's like heart attack burger.
Do you happen to know How many boys, how many girls?
Yeah, it's I happen to know. Yeah, it's my family. You know.
Well, it's so big. It's so big. I would lose track. I'd be like, I don't know, 7 and 4 maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do remember all the names. So you'd be surprised. But yeah, it's 6 boys and 5 girls.
As fast as you can, go through all 11 names.
Moshe, Elka, David, Chani, Elchen, Chamin, Hanan, Ariel, because it's in Hebrew. Yeah.
That was all 11?
Yeah.
I love that. I was hoping to get you speaking some Hebrew as well.
מה אתה רוצה שאני אגיד?
What's that mean?
What do you want me to say?
I was going to ask you what your favorite thing to say is.
In Hebrew or?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
So I asked my buddy, he's fluent in Spanish, and I can't recite what he said in Spanish, but he said something, and he said, just don't repeat it to anyone because it's the worst insult you could tell someone. And I said, what does it translate to? And he says, it means I shit on your mother's face.
Oh my God.
I'm like, yeah, that's pretty offensive. If someone did that to my mom, I'd be very upset.
Oh my God. You actually visualizing.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No. I think my favorite word, and I think it's kind of like word that I like to use a lot, is yevshush. It's yevshush. It's like I would call it's like a slang that we kind of came up with. It's like when someone is like being super dry, like has super dry personality, like dweeb.
Okay.
But like dweeb dry, like, so usually we like to say yevshush chamshush kamtutz matzmutz. So it's kind of like, it's just something that we came up with.
I'm going to have to learn that one. I'll re-listen to that little clip over and over until I can say it. Yevshush?
Yevshush.
Yevshush.
Yeah.
I like that. No Yevshushes on this show, please.
Yes.
There is this Greek movie I watched, and right before you take a shot, they all raise their glasses and go, Oppa! Is there like a cheers for if you were going to do that in Hebrew?
Oppa, it's like it's like a cheering thing, but if you do like cheers. You say lechaim.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Exactly.
I knew that one.
Yeah, it's very common. They put it in like movies and things like that. But there's a lot of words.
My buddy Tim invited me to his family's Thanksgiving last year, and his mom is still alive, and his mom and her late husband had 9 kids and adopted 2, so they also had 11.
Wow.
Of those 11 kids, a lot of them have got married and started having kids, and of that generation, some of them have got married and started having kids. And so I show up to this thing, and there's like 35 plus people, which they said was small for them because I think 4, maybe 5 of the siblings in their families weren't able to make it. So it was about half the size it normally was. And I didn't even try to learn names. I learned the mom's name, Mary, because I felt like out of respect, I should know who's hosting the event.
Basics.
You know? But it's funny, Mary, she's got to be over 90 years old. And she came up to me at dinner, and she slides right next to me. And she said, Tim said that he was bringing a friend, but he didn't say what a handsome friend. And, with my late husband being gone for quite some time, that big bed is starting to feel real empty. I'm just like, oh, Mary.
So much pressure.
Get out of here. What was the dynamics like for your family?
So my parents both became religious, and so that means like they were very, they kind of like got into it, and they went to live in the most religious city in Israel. So they were extreme, like even more extreme, because they always like had to like, I don't know, prove themselves that they're enough. And so there was no love, no warmth, no affection, no I'm proud of you, no I love you, no none of that stuff. It was all about religion and God, and we have to do this because if we're not going to do it, God is going to punish us. So very like fear and shame based, the whole religion. And yeah, so I feel like for me, I was like kind of like the black sheep of the family. So out of the 11 kids, I was like the one that's like, my mom didn't like me really like so much. I got along pretty well with my siblings, but me and my mom did not get along. And my dad was just like not there. My dad was like, he's like super, super, super smart. And I guess he got to Israel when he was kind of like lost. He was searching for something, and then they got him there. He was traveling the world when he was 25, so he just kind of like followed it. But they're super like brainwashed, and my dad was just like pretty much like studying the Bible the whole day, because that's like the in their Orthodox community, like the extreme ones, the men just sit and study the Bible the whole day, and the women needs to provide, right, basically. So the women need to take care of the husband, the kids, and everything else. So my dad was just never there, never had. It's like a rock, right? Not good and not bad. It's just there, you know. So yeah.
And so at 14, what was the deciding factor that made you think, okay, I'm out of here?
Well, I always knew that I'm not gonna stay there. It's like from this day I can remember myself, it just didn't make sense to me to follow this nonsense. Like I remember in first grade, you know, like it's like a whole thing when you're in first grade and you get the prayer book and everybody's praying and everything, and it's like, and I got the book and I was like, okay, I just kind of like played like I didn't really read through it. And when I was 14, it just like did not get along with my parents. And then when I was 14, my parents didn't want me there, more my mom, because again, my dad is like just there. And I was like, I don't want to be here. So it was like, okay, I'm going to be out. Yeah, let's like, you know, leave. And it was kind of like a handshake, like, okay, I'm out of here. Bye. Yeah. But I was never really there, like with the religion, like since I can remember myself. I was always a free spirit. I was waiting for just to spread my wings. And I always knew, like, as a kid growing up, if you ask me, like, what was my dream as a kid, it's just to not be religious. That's my only dream. I don't want to be religious. That's my
so you're living your dream.
Yeah, I literally live my dream. Yeah, that is true.
It's interesting because I grew up, I was raised in a Christian household, and I wouldn't say I drank the Kool-Aid, but I bought into it. So I didn't smoke before I was 21, never drank before I was 21, never used curse words, never looked at porn, just all the stuff that you're supposed to do. And I genuinely enjoyed going to church and enjoyed the music and enjoyed learning from the Bible. And it wasn't until I was in my mid-20s that I sort of branched out and started to have my own independent thoughts and figure out who David is aside from what my parents wanted me to be, I guess. So I find that really interesting that
I can
you
relate.
were like light years ahead of me. You know, you knew at 7. Like, okay, I'm done with this. I guess I just had to become an adult first, and yeah, I don't know why it took me so much longer, but.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's different. We're just like different souls that, you know, experience different things. But I honestly think it started for me since I was inside my mom's womb. I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't belong here. And the reason why I'm saying it, I know it sounds a little crazy, and the reason why I'm saying it is because I've been doing a lot of work with therapists in the past 3.5 years, and we were doing a lot of guided imagery. So I went twice to my mom's womb, and I learned some stuff about myself since then. So that's why I'm saying it.
How did you and your mom butt heads?
Well,
just because she knew you weren't being genuine, or would it be specific? Would you try to bug her? Would you do things to get under her skin?
Yeah, I was a very tough child. The thing is, it's like she treated me like I owe her something. Like I don't want it to sound bad, but she talked to me like I'm her slave. Like, you have to do the dishes, you have to do this, you have to do this, but no warmth, no love, no nothing. So I was like, F you, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. And then the only thing that got her to move me is that she literally called me fat cow. And that's literally the only thing.
Oh my God.
That's how she could move me. So that's why she didn't really mean it, I don't think, but that's how she could move me. And then I actually believed her, and that's how I became the chubbiest kid out of the 11 kids.
Almost like she manifested it. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So do you think subconsciously or even literally you believed her? Every time she said it, that's how you saw yourself?
Yeah.
Were you afraid to leave at 14, or was it almost like a weight was lifted off your shoulders?
Oh, I was like the happiest person ever. I was like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this moment my few lifetimes. I just want to be free. But I thought I would be free. I wasn't free because I went to a whole different thing there.
Because the word you used was dorms. So was it at a school, or what? What is a dorm in Israel?
It's like a boarding school that you basically stay there and you go home like every I don't know, like weekend or every 2 weekends. every other weekend. So the thing, because I was under 18, she had to sign for me, and they only could sign for me like to go to a religious place. So they said like, we prefer you be in the streets than be in a non-religious school. So I had to go there, and I didn't want to go to the streets. I wanted to be in school, so I tried to do my best. But then every year, it was 3 different dorms. Like, every year was a little different. So the first year was very, 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 very strict. Very, like, it's like, you can't leave the place. You can leave for 10 minutes with someone. It's like these movies, like, you know this, like, movie Annie with, like, the house mother, the crazy house mother?
I think so, yeah.
It's very old. So we had, like, that kind of, like, house mother. It was, like, very, like, kind of, like, from a movie. And, so, and then, you know, the second year was a little less, but still very, very strict, very, like, closed. And then the third year was, like, a little more open, but it still was religious. So, and then after, like, half a year there, I was like, okay, you know what? I just don't think this whole thing is for me. It's just not, I get the idea, but it's just not for me. I'm out. And then I left, and then I started my life pretty much, 16.
Outside of when you left your parents' place, because that seems like it was probably a pretty happy moment, was there any memory you have with a friend or anything growing up that's just a really fond memory that you like to think on?
Yeah, I mean, my siblings, we had a lot of fun. Like, we learned through, I mean, I remember on Saturday afternoon, like, my brother would have those encyclopedias. How do you say this? Like,
encyclopedias?
Yes, I never know how to say that in English. But yeah, he would like teach me about birds, about animals, about cars, so I have like some random information that I know about animals and cars. Like, you know, it's, yeah, but it was really fun. Like, I learned a lot from him, and just like having siblings, and, you know, you have all these different siblings and you can do different things, and that was fun. Like, and I'm still close to some of them more. I have 2 sisters here in Austin. You met one of them.
Elle.
Yeah. And then the other one also lives here, and then there's the rest are in Israel. Some of them I'm closer to, some of them are a little more difficult because of the religion. But yeah, like it was fun to have siblings.
When I met Elle, I almost didn't believe her name because I met them through Braden.
Yeah.
And Braden walks up and says, "This is my friend Dell and my friend Elle," and I'm like, "No." No, it's not. One of those is fake. But Elle was awesome. It was really good to meet her.
Yeah.
And then, what was I going to ask? So 17, you leave the dorm, and did you join the IDF immediately, or did that come later?
No, it came later. So I left the dorms when I was like 16 and a half, and then I went to live with my grandparents in Israel, just because I didn't want to be in the streets. But the problem, they were a little older, so sometimes I would go and work, because I was working since I was 16. And then so I would go to work, and then they would lock the house on me sometimes. They just like didn't notice that I'm coming back, and so sometimes I had like situations where I'm like, oh, I don't know where I'm going to sleep tonight, you know? So from that time until I joined the army when I was 19, it was probably the worst time of my life, because I was kind of like in a very bad place, no frame. And I was like a lost kid, like in this, like there were days that I had my backpack and I was like, I don't know where I'm going to sleep tonight. And luckily, like, I never slept in the streets because I had a lot of friends, you know? I always had friends. And but yeah, it was really, really tough years until I got to the army when I was 19.
There's a question I normally ask at the end, but I'm going to ask it right now because I feel like it is relevant. So every guest, they have no idea who I'm interviewing next. I don't tell them who it is, what their profession, nothing. But I ask them, what is a question that you would like me to ask them? So my prior guest question to you is this. What is something that scared you to a point of questioning your own life or shaking you to your core?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yep. What was something that scared you to a point of questioning your own life or shaking you to your core? So essentially, what was a moment where you were just, it terrified you, where maybe you were terrified for your life, or maybe you were even so terrified it changed your belief system about something? When were you the most scared?
Well, I think in the army I had one moment that was pretty scary.
Tell us.
So I was an operational driver. I drove the Humvees and stuff, and I was in a artillery base. So I worked like, with the officers industry. So I would like go to the field with them and pretty much anything artillery within the officer. So whoever becomes an officer in artillery in the IDF goes through where I was at, basically. And one time we went to like an exercise in the field, and it was like in the around the base, basically, like it was the base territory, like it was like the shooting range territory of the base. And then one of the officers got like a message in the thing. There are two terrorists with like around. They're with like the ATV. They're like running around, and they have like weapon on them. And so he told me that, and I was like kind of like waiting in the car while they did the exercise because I was just driving. And he told me like, okay, there's this, just so you be aware. I was like, okay, cool, just let me know. And then I'm kind of like when rested in between because I was kind of like just waiting basically. And then like about 10 minutes later, he woke me up. He says like, hey, they're right here on your left. And I'm looking like, and I'm seeing them probably like 10 feet away from me on the left on ATV. So from like in a second, so much adrenaline from like sleeping. I was like on a drive mode, and he got into the car with like his weapon, like outside of the his window, ready to, basically, I don't know, in case something happens. Cause in Israeli, like the Israeli army, you can't just like shoot people. You can't just like shoot even the like terrorists. Yeah. Even if they shoot terrorists, like they go through like it doesn't make sense, because if someone is a terrorist and like you have to protect the citizens, but like if you do that, it just doesn't make sense. Like you might go to jail, if you did that. So it doesn't make sense. But he's just like basically ready for whatever's gonna happen. So yeah, from a moment I was like in drive mode, and I was like driving so fast. It was like a F50, Ford F50, and it was like the field, so it was really hard. It wasn't like a Humvee, And I drove so fast, like literally drove so fast, the radio fell off. So
floored it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was really like scary. It had like a lot of adrenaline, but we didn't catch them because I didn't have the like Humvee, and it's really hard with the truck, but it was fine. Like nothing happened later.
Do you remember when you first joined the IDF, what your thoughts were, in the sense of, were you excited, nervous, scared?
I was nervous because I came from a family where, like, I came from a community that men and women are completely separated from age 0. And it's just like, I wasn't normal in the world. Like, I didn't know how to act normal in the society, and how to talk to guys, or how to talk to even girls that are not religious, right?
Right.
I just didn't know, what do you talk about? What do you do? How are you a human? Like, what do you do as a human? Like, literally, like, what am I, so it was like that. And then also get to the army, like growing up, the army for religious people, it's a huge no-no. Like, men and women, like where I came from, they don't go to the army in Israel, even though it's mandatory, especially not women. It's like a huge no-no. Like, it's very not a thing. So, I was nervous more for this whole new, just getting into like society, and like how it's gonna look like for me. More so about that, less so about like the actual job in the army. I don't know. I don't feel like that's something I was thinking about. Yeah.
So when you say they kept men and women separate, was that just you were kept separate from other boys outside your family, or even amongst your siblings? I know you mentioned earlier your brother and you had those moments together with the encyclopedia, but did they even try to keep like siblings apart, or was that fine? No,
that's fine with siblings, but there was no like hugging, or not like, it just wasn't a thing.
No hugging?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I know.
Sorry.
Everyone. I know, but and I'm a hugger too nowadays, which is kind of interesting that I turned out to be this way, coming from where I came from, because it's very distant, very cold. Yeah, definitely like schools, just girls, just boys, and just like even weddings are separated. Events are separated, so usually they have like this like thing, like a wall that blocks between the men and women.
So was the IDF accepting of you, or did you have to fight to let them to let you join?
That's a great question. So, the women are, it's like just so you automatically get dismissed as a religious, but no, if you go there to this place where basically you get the initial invite to the army. I don't even know how to say that. But yeah, if you go there and you ask to join, like they're not going to tell you no. Yeah, they definitely like if you already had the dismiss and then you want to cancel the dismiss, it's a little more complicated, but it's still possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they take bodies. They don't care who it is,
oh,
man,
yeah.
woman, religion.
They need
if you
everybody.
want to sign up, they're welcoming you with open arms.
Yeah, they need everybody.
And did you choose to be an operational driver, or was that position chosen for you?
So I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then they offered me this because it's something that's usually the army needs, and I was like, you know what? I don't think there's any other way that I'm gonna get my driver's license because in Israel, it's like first of all it's very expensive, and also in Israel like it's like if you are not from like a rich family, you're not gonna have a car. So I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe it's a good way for me also to see the country because I was stuck in this little bubble city, like this religious city. I didn't see my freaking country, like never. So I was like, I thought it was a good idea to get the driver's license, to see the country, and to become a badass driver.
It's so funny because I'm going to make the comparison again of just like two very different cultures. At the gym that I go to now in this particular neighborhood, the first time I drove into the parking lot, I thought, oh, this is like the rich part of Austin because all the cars were really nice, like nice cars. But then what I noticed is it's not even adults driving them. It's the teenagers. These 15 and 16-year-olds are driving up to the gym in this like $80,000 sports car, and just what it's just really illuminating to hear about these two completely different worlds. Where here, there are some families where it like I'm assuming these kids didn't have $80,000, so I'm also making the assumption that the parents must have bought it for them. But just how crazy that in 2023 today there are these two worlds that aren't that far apart from each other, and they're just so different,
Yeah, it's crazy.
So did you get to see the world? Did you check that box off? Or not the world necessarily, but did you get to see more of Israel by joining the IDF and being an operational driver?
Yeah, for sure. Israel is such a beautiful place. I love Israel. I have this special place in my heart when I hear that there are bad things happening there. It really breaks my heart. And just to hear people say just things like, without knowing what's the meaning of it, it just really breaks my heart because even people in Israel don't even really know like what's really going on there, with all the conflict. So I have like this really special place in my heart, and whenever something happens there, it just like really affects me like mentally. I can be down for like a week because of that. It really affects me. It happened like 4 years ago. So I'm really trying to like protect my mental health and not let that in, even though it's really sad and it's my country. It's like where I'm from. It's part of me. It's always going to be part of me. It's just something that I'm trying to like protect my mental health because I feel like it's always going to happen there. But the country itself is super beautiful, amazing food, amazing scenery. Like you have in the north, you have like the mountain with like with snow, and you have greens, and then you have the beaches, you have the Dead Sea, you have the desert in the south. So it's like only 6 hours drive from north to south, and you have all these different sceneries and oceans and different things. It's really beautiful and amazing people, like really warm culture. So
it's only 6 hours, and but still, you hadn't seen any of that because you were in your hub.
Yeah.
Before joining what's the city or the area called that you specifically grew up in?
It's called Bnei Brak. It's like 20 minutes from Tel Aviv. Okay. Tel Aviv is like the center. Everybody heard about Tel Aviv when you heard about Israel. So it's like 20 minutes away by driving because it's a very small country. But if you go to Israel, there is like literally 0.001% that you're gonna run into Bnei Brak because people don't know about this place, and usually people don't really go in and out. It's very like, I mean, for you it would be fine. For me, if I go like this, where this, they'll throw rocks at me, they'll spit at me. So
because you're a woman?
No, because I'm not modest. Yeah, because I'm not modest. Because as a woman, you're supposed to wear the long sleeves, everything covers, like long skirts.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy. You started smoking when you were 17.
Yeah, 16.
16. And that primarily was not by choice. It was because that's just what everyone did essentially, right? Mm-hmm. How many years did you smoke for?
I smoked for about like 4 years.
You stopped because when you moved in with your sister?
I stopped when I was in the army. I came to visit after 1 year in the army. I was there for 2 years. I came to visit my family in Israel and here in the U.S. Hal and Sam. And so they told me they ate healthy at the time. I mean, they still eat healthy, but
Now they're just eating whatever.
no, they're very, very healthy. They got me into it. And they told me, like, listen, Hannah, if you want to come and stay with us, you're going to have to stop smoking for a month because we don't want that nicotine in our couch. Like, you're going to have to stop for a week. So I was like, not for a month. I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to stop for a month and then I'm going to come back to Israel. I'm going to continue to smoke. And that was like the wrong thought because it changed.
Yeah.
I came for a month and I really enjoyed eating healthy. I really enjoyed how it made me feel. So I was like, oh, healthy food doesn't have to taste like bad. It actually tastes pretty good. So I went back to Israel and I was eating healthy and I really enjoyed it. And I bought like all these like healthy ingredients and made like myself meals. And I really enjoyed it. However, looking back, I still had no idea what I was doing, but it's better than what I did before.
Yeah. It's funny, now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't have this thought until just right now. Where I moved from in Sacramento, California, there's a lot of smoking. People in office buildings or as they're walking down the street, like I don't know, maybe it's the part of Sacramento I lived in. I've seen next to none in Austin. But I do feel like, I don't know if you have the same thought, I do feel like Austin is a healthier town. Mm-hmm. The gyms are busier. People are spending a lot of time outdoors. Even my barber said that he specifically moved here because everyone, guys, gals, they like to take care of themselves. So for a barber, it's a great place to be because the guys are going to want their hair to look good and their beards to look good. And I thought, how did that happen? That Austin just became this like healthy hub of Texas. Have you noticed that too? Or am I just speaking nothing here?
No, you are 100% correct. Like it's very much like that in Austin. I feel like everybody wants to go out and everybody's active and fit and healthy. There's a lot of awareness around health and fitness here. And also, with that, I feel like in Austin, a lot of people really wants to have communities. Like people actually wants to meet people. So you never go out and start talking to someone and that person will give you the vibe of like, what the fuck? Like, why are you talking to me? Like when I was in Vegas, it was like very much like, no, people don't want to interact. People don't want to meet each other. No communities. So here it's like super huge. I mean, the amount of people I met in Austin in the past like year and a half since I moved here, it's more people than I met in my entire life altogether in terms of connections.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I met a guy, just speaking of, I made two new friends at the dog park this morning, and one of them was telling me that he moved here from New York. And in New York, as soon as you walk out your front door, you have to be alert at all times because you never know who's going to spit on you, jump you, or just shadier people in general. So he's like, you can't even have your headphones in because you need to be alert as to your surroundings. And he said his girlfriend just moved there recently, and she was taking the train, and she called him because she said, Jared, there's a lady on the train who's taking a shit next to her seat. And he was like, yeah, that's normal.
Oh my God. Ew.
So he was like, as soon as I got in Austin, I could tell the vibe was different. And I don't know about you. I'm also a 210 pound, 6 foot male, but I've never felt like I need to have my guard up in Austin, whether I'm downtown or at the parks. But like I said, I'm also a bigger guy and
yeah, no one's going to mess with you.
Do you feel like that? Do you feel relatively safe when you're walking around
town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what triggered you last question around the IDF, what triggered that ending? So with the IDF, did they have something similar where you just do X amount of time and then you either re-enlist or leave?
Yeah, so men go for usually for 3 years, women go for 2 years in the IDF, and then that's the mandatory service. If you want to continue, if you want to sign for like an officer or just continue in the army, you can do that. But I also, if you like a female and you want to become a warrior, you're gonna have to do 3 years as well. And I wanted to do it, but I was like, I don't want to do 3 years. I just want to go to America. That was like my.
You didn't want to become a warrior?
Because I didn't want to spend another year. I wanted to go to America. I wanted to start my life, and I knew that I'm gonna go move to America after the army. I just had to check it in my list as part of something that I needed to do in my life, and best freaking decision. I mean, I made so like good decisions out of my throughout my life, but this is definitely one of the best ones. It really helped me with like my, first of all, being normal in the society and learn about things also in the army, and like having to work under pressure and under stress, and it's something that I'm pretty good at, and having discipline. So all these things, it's things that I got from the army.
That's awesome. I was telling, who was it? Someone within the Israeli Navy said something very similar. He was on the show last weekend, and the way he described it, it almost made it sound like everyone should do it. Mm-hmm. Just everything that you just said that you learned. Like, why not?
Yeah. I also think that. I think it would be great for each person to go through something like that. I mean, if you take a 23-year-old like Israeli, male and 23-year-old like American, you'll see like the difference. Like this person literally went through war. Like they fought, they're 23-year-old and they've been an officers in the army. You can imagine like the differences, Yeah. Maybe not like emotionally and mentally, like that, because at the end of the day, it's like the age still there, but more life skills and like dealing with situations. It's like a whole different crazy.
Yeah.
It's very different.
So did you go straight into culinary school before you made it to Vegas?
Yeah, so actually from the army, I got an option to choose what I want to go for. There was computers, all kinds of stuff, and culinary school. I was like, all these things of sitting computers and like all these kind of courses, I'm not speaking to me.
Yeah.
So culinary school was it for me, and I was like, I just want to learn how to cook, because I was very afraid of going into the kitchen before. So I feel like that really gave me a lot of confidence and really developed my taste skills and like really putting flavors together and like very like the basics of cooking. It was really great experience for 10 months of being there.
That's awesome. I love cooking. 95% of my meals are homemade, but I have noticed in the last 18 months, I guess, it started to feel a little not repetitive. I'm not getting bored of the cooking. I'm getting bored of the recipes. I'm like, all right, I got the same 30 that I sort of rotate through every month. And I need to shake it up a bit. And also, sometimes like all my steak will be overdone because I don't use a thermometer. Like I don't want to be a chef, but I thought it would be cool to go to some sort of culinary school and go from being someone who's like, I know what I'm doing, but let's take it up a notch, so that the food actually comes out exactly how I want it to, learn some new skills, maybe use some new tools. So I don't know, I'm pretty busy, but it went through my head last weekend when I was meal prepping, and I was thinking about what I wanted to cook for the week. And I was like, I don't want to cook any of this.
Yeah. So. You know what? I first of all, I think it'll suit you. I think you'll like it, but I think one thing that can really help is to watch cooking shows. That really helps too.
Yes.
Well, while you cook. I really like to watch it while I'm cooking.
I do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I do that.
That's amazing.
That's so fun.
So fun.
I almost thought like I need to watch them though, so I can take notes on something new that I haven't seen before, or a way that they do something. But what's your favorite show to have on in the background while you're cooking?
I really usually I watch like Israeli cooking shows, but it's kind of like the same as here. So we have MasterChef and we have the Game of Chefs. I don't know if you have it here too, but I watched some of the shows with Gordon Ramsay. Okay. I mean, he's in all of them probably, but hey, like listen. So something I do with my clients in our weekly calls, because we have like weekly calls, every call within the program, and one of my calls is about cooking and having ideas and creativity. So there is something that I'm gonna try to make it super short, but usually you think about cuisines, right? Mm-hmm. So you think about what do you feel like having right now? Do you want Mediterranean, Italian, Thai, Japanese, Chinese, whatever? So first you choose the cuisine, and then then you choose the type of meal that you want. Do you want like a sandwich? Do you want like a bowl? Do you want like a full meal? Do you want like a pasta? Do you want like a salad, or whatever? And then you basically take that, whatever it is that you're choosing, and then you choose like the protein, the veggies, the complex carbs, and the healthy fats that fits those flavors, and you use the seasoning from those flavors from the same cuisine. So seasonings and sauces you just make from that cuisine, and that's really easy way to be creative in the kitchen. And there's a little bit more to it, but that's kind of like gives you like an idea to think about like things.
I haven't thought about it like that before. Right now, what I've been doing is, have you ever heard of, or you maybe even used for yourself, HelloFresh?
I heard about it, never used it.
I used it for about 6 months, and I knew I was going to end it, and the reason I did it was similar to what I just told you. I was bored with my cooking, but also life was super busy, and I needed to eliminate something to make myself more efficient. So I thought, I'll eliminate going to the grocery store. HelloFresh essentially has 50 different meals that you can choose from. So you go through and click what you want to cook. You see, I want pasta, I want tacos, I want steak, and whatever the fourth one is, a salad. And all the doors show up at or all the food shows up at your doorstep Sunday night. And it comes with these recipe cards that I have one to show you in a bit. And so I used it for like 6 months and then just kept all the recipe cards that I liked. And now that's how I base my cooking, is I'll just thumb through the cards, find enough recipes that I like, and then I'll take the cards, go to the store, buy everything. Oh. And what I like about it too is that I no longer waste any food. I eat probably 95 to 100% of what I buy.
That's awesome.
And I also am spending a significantly less amount eaten too. So before, I would go to the grocery store, spend like 140, give or take, for a week. And I was always throwing stuff out at the end of the week. Now I'm spending like 80 to 90 every week, and I eat everything that I buy.
That's awesome. I found that buying at Costco really helps also to save money. And it's so funny you say that, because I remember in the past when I was dealing with emotional eating, I would spend so much more money on groceries. And it's something that I really noticed, that I would just go to the store and I would just like want to buy everything because of my obsession with food. And when I got rid of, like when I overcame emotional eating, I was like, oh, I don't need this. Duh. It's really cool because it also helps with saving money, not only your mental and like just the way you feel. You know?
I'll circle back to the emotional eating in a little bit. So you finish culinary school, and then Vegas was next, essentially?
Yes.
And you moved to Vegas specifically because you had family there already?
Yes.
When you first got here, was there any shocks or surprises, or was it sort of what you expected?
It was very, 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 very different, but I wasn't shocked. I almost had a feeling that that's what I'm going to get. I mean, Vegas was definitely different, so that's like the first city I got exposed to in all of the U.S., so I thought, oh, this is America, Las Vegas. No, dude, no. Yeah.
I may have not picked up on this. Did you become a personal trainer as soon as you got here? Was that one of the first things you did?
No, I started working as a server. Okay. So first of all, I started working in a New Balance store for 2 months, and then it was like, and then there was this Israeli restaurant in Vegas that I started to work for them, because I was a server since I was 16. So I just like, it was kind of like my normal zone that I'm really good at. So I started working with them, and it was easy pretty much because the owner was in Israeli, so he could understand Hebrew, and it was kind of like a very soft landing because my English was pretty broken when I moved to the US. So yeah, I was a server until probably 2019, but I got my certification as a personal trainer from NASM in Body Design University back in 2018. And the only reason I did the certification is because I was working out since 2014, since the second year of the military, when I came back to Israel from visiting my family. And I felt like I just didn't know what I was doing really at the gym. I was like, I don't know, like I'm kind of like hitting a plateau, and I'm really passionate about it. So I just want to learn like for myself. I just want to know what I'm doing. I didn't think I'm going to actually do it as for, profession. I didn't think.
When did that moment come?
What, that I knew?
That you knew you wanted to train people?
Well, it's just kind of like led me to it, because when I did the certification, it's, you go through, I took this Body Design University course, which is a live course in Atlanta. that really helped me because of my language barrier. I needed to sit in a class and have like visuals, and they really were talking about like everything, also around the business and everything. So I was like, oh, like maybe I'll just start working at gyms. And then I was looking to work as a personal trainer for like personal training studios. So I would teach classes to start with.
Okay.
And then I
What
went
kind
to
of
the
classes?
like high intensity interval
Okay.
trainings.
Okay.
And also a little bit strength training. It depends on how many people I had. I had classes from 7 women in a class to I worked at Lifetime for a while, so there was like more people there. But I worked at Lifetime in Vegas and here in Austin for a little bit amount of time. But I think the main thing, after that, after doing that in the beginning, I started working one-on-one with clients in Vegas. I started working at gyms with one-on-one with clients, and I was like doing it, and I liked it, but I was like, I don't know if I want to do it forever.
Yeah. So what brought you out to Austin?
Well, what brought me here is that COVID started and they closed the gyms, and I had kind of like went on Zoom and then started the online thing. But after COVID started, my 2 sisters left Vegas, and I was there by myself. I was like, okay, why am I still here? Like
Right.
I literally came for them. Like, what? They're not here.
Why'd you leave me?
Yeah, exactly, which was good. But so I came to visit Austin for like 3 times back in 2021 because I have friends here from
Okay.
before, and every single time I came here, I really enjoyed. Like I really liked the vibe and the city and the people. And then the third time I came here, actually for my family for the third time, that was the decision. That was May of 2021. That was the decision that I made. Like, okay, I need to be here. There's nothing for me in Vegas.
There's something about this town that does seem to draw people in because I have a friend that he wanted to come out and visit me and see the town because he had never been here. And he stayed for 6 days, and now he's job hunting here. He's applying to all kinds of jobs because he wants to relocate to Austin. So it's funny how it has that effect on people.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah, it does. Because there's this vibe. What I always notice about this city, that there's so much diversity in people. So whatever you are, if you're into just fitness or spirituality or I don't know, partying, whatever your thing is, you'll find your people here because everybody's out and everybody wants to meet everybody.
Yeah.
So it's easy to meet people that are also aligned with you, on the same page with your whatever you believe in.
You might. I'll wonder what your thoughts will be on this. I think the new cult that I'm about to join is the cold plunging group.
Oh yeah, that's a big cult here in Austin.
I was doing it back home. They had it. It was only essentially it was only during the winter because the gym I went to had a pool and they didn't regulate its temperature, so it got down to that like 40 to 50 degrees depending on the day. So it wasn't an ice bath per se, but it was freaking freezing. And so I would go in and I would do my 3-minute plunge. But now I got here to Austin and I already have 2 gym memberships and neither of them have something like that. And then the guy that I was telling you about from New York, he told me about a place that you could go, and he goes 7 days a week. He told me the price, it's not too expensive. And then one of the employees even showed up. He was like, oh, that guy works there. Get over here, Ryan. And so he came over, and they convinced me to do it. So I think on Monday I'm going to start cold plunging again.
Let me know how it is. I've done cold plunging in the past, in Vegas a little bit, but also here I went a few times. It's amazing. It has really good benefits on you. It's really amazing.
I loved it. Because I don't know about you, but did you notice that every 30 seconds to a minute, you sort of went through a new phase? That first phase being because you're catching your breath, and then between minutes 1 and 2, I noticed that my breathing, I could get my breathing regulated, and then after minute 2, I noticed I would feel different parts of my body. So like if my elbow was in pain that day, it would sort of start to tingle, or my neck would start to tingle, and it's like it lit up different parts of my body. It was really cool.
Yes, yeah. I feel like it's also that, like what it physically does to your body, but also your mindset. It's just like basically you're forced to be super uncomfortable.
Yes.
So getting out of your comfort zone, and it's like the best thing that you could do for everything else in your life.
Yes. Well, the other thing too is you had to have felt this. Everyone who's done it has. There's no better way to be more in the present, because if you think about it, you're not thinking about anything else. You're only thinking about what my body feels like.
Yeah.
Even during this podcast, you've probably thought about some other things. My mind may have wandered once or twice. It's so easy for our brains to just sort of start thinking about like, oh, what am I going to do next? Or that notification that just popped up on my screen or whatever it is. But when you're in that freezing cold water, you're just so present and in the moment, and that's something really almost like peaceful I like about those 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's very important to practice presence. I always talk about it. We can talk about it later, but
Yes.
practicing presence, I feel like it's the key for everything in life. If you want to be happy and succeed in every area, practicing presence. Go back to yourself. Go back to your heart. It's always there. Just you have to practice it. That's a great way to do it. Cold plunge. There's other ways too.
Let's say let's just talk about it now since we're on the subject. Let's say you don't have access to a cold plunge either because of money, it's not common where you live, whatever the thing is. What's the tip that you would give for someone that if they wanted to be able to be more present with themselves, their mind, their body?
Yeah, so first of all, you can do it any moment. I'm super present in my body right now. I literally talk to you and I feel my body. I feel my body against the chair. I feel my energy around my face. And when you're driving, just to be very present in your body rather than thinking about like what I'm going to do. Oh my God, I have to do this, I have to do that. Because right now you're driving. You're driving, you can't do anything about this. So try to bring it from your head down to your body. It's always bring it from your thoughts, from your head to your body. Feel your body. Really like notice your senses, like what you see, what you hear, with the energy you feel, like what you feel. Like you feel different textures, right? Like your skin, everything is different. So you can do this like while you're driving, while you're working, while like every single moment, literally. And one thing I really like to do when I fall asleep every night is like until I fall asleep, from the moment I get in bed, is I kind of like check in with my chakras. So I really like feel the energy in my chakras, the 7 chakras, and really like touching it and really like feel my body, I'm trying to really focus on that chakra and that feeling in your body. And, meditation also can be, but, the thing with meditation is like, I used to hate meditation before I got into it because I was like, I can't not think of anything. I mean, it's just like so boring. And because I'm not an overthinking person, so it was pretty easy for me to not think of anything. But I also can see why it's really hard for people who are overthinking, because all you think about is not thinking, and you think about not thinking, and it's so frustrating. So instead of trying to like think or not think of anything, just literally try to bring it to your body. Instead of try to fight your thoughts, just focus on your body. Just focus on your toes, your knees, your feet, your stomach, your chest, your back, your arms, everything. Just presence. That's the best way to practice presence. You can literally do it any moment. It doesn't take any extra time.
I wish I could remember who said it, but someone said that meditation is not to eliminate your thoughts. It's a moment for you to have a conversation with yourself. So really, if you should be letting those thoughts flow in, and you can even think about those thoughts. Why am I stressed out, or why am I thinking about this thing? And I sort of like that for me, because I'm that person. I thought that meditating meant emptying my head, and you had this moment of like peace. And so when they reframed it for me and said, no, it's a conversation for you to think about those thoughts, to put away the computer, the phone, get away from work, get away from even things that you think are fun, like the TV. And it's just talk to David for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think it's a very good point, because there's a lot of different types of meditation. Sometimes I meditate and I literally I'm working in my meditation. Like I'm creating things in my mind. Like I have like my meditation place that I go to, that it's like beyond space, that I go meet my higher self, and we do all kind of cool shit there. Like, we work a lot with like energy and like, things like that to heal whatever it is that I'm going through life. So that could be something. You could do guided meditation where you're just listening to guided meditation. And you can also do that when you notice your thoughts. What I do sometimes, if I notice my thought, it's like I'm like imagining like I'm grabbing the thought with my finger, and I put it on a boat, and I'm kind of like letting it go. And it's just like, so it's another, just, I feel like meditation, there are so many It's just like not one word fits one thing. It's just so many different types and so many different things for different people. There's tapping, there's look, all these different yoga. I think it's some kind of form of meditation too.
Yes.
You know, I feel like meditation, it's basically to connect to yourself in some way. That's the way I see it. I don't know if that's how it really is, but that's the way I see meditation. Like, that's why it's so important.
My form of meditation right now, it's two things. What I just said about, letting whatever's up there be up there, whether it's good, bad, or something in between. But I do it specifically in the sauna. So I set a timer on my phone because I don't want to watch the clock. I don't want to look up and be like, I have 10 minutes left. I want to just set it for 20 minutes, click start, put the phone down, and then it's just me in that super hot room for 20 minutes, and I get out, and I feel better. Not only does my body feel better, but my mind always feels a little bit better, too. And sometimes I'll strike up conversations with people, so I'm not always... so it depends if the room is empty or not, if I'm actually focusing on whatever's in my head or if I'm talking with someone. But regardless, I like that it's my 20 minutes away from work, from technology. It's also hard because that 20 minutes in a dry sauna is for me anyways, it's not easy.
It's tough, yeah.
I'm gonna ask
I wanted to mention something also about like meditation. Another thing, like eating meditation. It can be another walking meditation. When you walk, you can basically like meditate, like really feel your body while you're walking, like really feel your body moving. When you eat, you really focus on the taste, the texture, the temperature, the flavor, in your mouth, and you kind of like observing your mouth, like your teeth coming together, your tongue eating. Not only you're gonna eat slower, so that's gonna prevent from overeating, obviously, but also you're going to enjoy your food so much better. So it's also very good for the digestion to eat slowly. Obviously, eating meditation, it's not something you can do in every meal because it's like, but it's kind of like the main thing of mindful eating, just like really like be present with your meals.
So I wonder if you'd be able to do something on the spot for us. Mm-hmm. Could you take us, me, and whoever's listening when this goes live, through a meditation right now that would help both you and me and the listener get just be more present with ourselves and as we listen to the rest of this episode?
Yes, of course.
Right,
let's do this. Let's do something a little lighter. I'm not going to take you beyond space this time.
Okay.
Maybe next time.
Okay, maybe you'll come back in 6 months.
Yeah,
and we'll go
again. Yeah, we'll go to some other planets and find some cool animals and colors. But let's just sit on the chairs that we're sitting on right now, and we can close our eyes. Take a deep breath. So when you take a deep breath in, imagine like light coming in, like positive energy coming in. And when you release, imagine all the stress, anxiety, all the things that sits on you coming out. I want you to really like feel your body right now. Like really try to feel your body and feel like if you feel anything in your body that bothers you. It could be something in your chest. It could be your shoulders. It could be your back, whatever it is. I want you to really focus on your body and feel like if you feel any tension in your body. So I want you to now, if you found something, take a deep breath, inhale to that specific place. Let's say you feel tension in your stomach. So take a deep breath all the way to your stomach, to that specific spot. And let it go with exhale. And and you can do that for a few minutes if you have few different spots. But I want you to really like focus on each body part. So we're going to go through it together. And not only am I going to go through each body part and really be aware to it and feel it, but I also want to, practice gratitude, be thankful for this thing that we're talking about. So we're going to start from the toes. So I want you to think about your nails and your toes and be grateful for them, and your feet and your ankles, be grateful for them. Like they're there, and really like try to like really practice just focusing on that. Just really feel your ankles right now and go up to your calves. Really feel your calves. Fill it up with positive energy and gratitude. Go to your knees, fill it up with gratitude. I'm so thankful for my knees. Go up to your thighs, and then go up to your butt. Go up to your lower stomach. Go through every single body part, and think about how you're grateful for it, and how how it serves you in your life, and how you're able to move it without thinking. It just happens automatically, and we just take it for granted. And go up to your stomach. Think about your stomach. You can also go a little deeper into organs like, digestive system, liver, but, really be thankful for how your body is functioning. Go up to your chest. Think about your lower back, your upper back, really focusing awareness to these areas. Go up to your shoulders, focusing awareness just on your shoulders, your arms, your elbows, your hands, your fingers, your nails. Be aware to it. Then go to your neck, focusing on your neck. Be thankful for your neck, your spine. And then your head, your hair, your eyebrows, your ears, your mouth, your nose, your eyes. You're able to see. The fact that you're able to smell, to taste, to speak, to hear. Just be thankful for all these things. Gratitude, just practicing gratitude like that, it really is going to really reduce your anxiety or stress, and just really focusing on what's right now. Because that's what's really important, is what's right now. We don't know what's going to happen in 5 minutes. So practicing that in your body, you can do it slower, you can do it faster, and you can do it in any moment, wherever you're at. And so just be grateful, and you can hold your heart, your heart chakra in the middle between your chest, and just be grateful. And always remember that your heart is you have to go back to your heart. And that's something that if you feel stress, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel pressure to do something, it's always to just go back to your body. Take a deep breath. All the way. And that's it. Yeah. How do you feel?
That was nice.
Yeah.
I had a couple different thoughts as we were going through that. One was at the beginning when you said focus on your toenails. I had a thought, what if we didn't have toenails? Do they serve? I am incredibly grateful for them. I'm not saying I'm not, but they have to serve a purpose. I'm gonna Google that later today. If you lost all 10 of your toenails, what would happen? The second thought was that I do have right now pain in my right foot. It's constant. I had a doctor look at it. They think it's plantar fasciitis. I also have some form of either tennis or golfer's elbow going on. And it's funny. They both do feel a little bit better, and even I just feel
lighter.
You just took, what was that? Probably 20 deep breaths, if not more. And yeah, I do feel just
yeah, you have your energy. Is lighter.
Thank you for
But about your, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you for suggesting that. I think it's important for everybody.
Yeah.
But about your elbow and your foot or any other pain that you have, it's if you really sit in it and you do these things and you send positive energy to these places and you really heal it and you really give it attention, like a little child or a little, plant that you put water and you kind of the same thing with our body. Sometimes we take our body for granted and we just don't stop to be thankful and be kind with our body and just oh, poor knee, something, just send it positive vibes, and it really helps.
I'm going to ask you a big question, and it might be hard to answer, but at the very end, you said check in with your heart, and I had a thought that what if you had a client and you had been working with this individual now for a couple of months, and so you guys are getting really comfortable. And I was a personal trainer for a bit, so like people open up to you pretty quick, and it's almost like you're 50% trainer, 50% therapist. So what if you went through a meditation with someone at the end of their workout, and at the end of it, she said, Hannah, I don't love myself. Like, I have a hard time. I don't like who I am. What, you were there at one point yourself. What would you tell that person? What would step one be to learning to love myself?
Ooh, when you said that, I felt like my body, like my heart, like I felt this like, thank you for asking this. I think it's very, very, very important. And the thing is, before I started therapy, if you asked me like, Hannah, do you love yourself? I would say, yeah, of course I love myself. What do you mean? And then going through therapy, one time this came up and we were talking about loving and about like the heart and what do I feel with my heart. And I felt for the first time in my life to become aware of it, I just felt like my heart is sealed with like a heavy duty glue. I felt like it was sealed. And we were talking about like, and then, I was thinking about like, there's no way, like I must love some stuff, right? What do I love? And then I was thinking about like, oh, I love food.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. But then I was like, I don't, like, it's not really love. It's just like a passion. I really enjoy eating food. And then I was thinking, oh, I love working out. But then I was like, no, it's also just a passion. And, I love my people in my life, my family, my friends, but I never felt this feeling in my heart of love towards them or anything. I was like, interesting. I'm gonna crack this code. So I decided, I was in Vegas at the time. It was about like 3.5 years ago, and I just started therapy. And I went to the mountains, the Red Rocks in Vegas, and I took my journal with me. And I was like, I'm just gonna stay here. It was a Sunday. I'm just gonna stay here. I don't care how long it's gonna take. I'm gonna stay here until I feel this feeling in my heart of love. Just in general, not towards myself, just in general, to feel that feeling. So I was sitting on the mountain, closing my eyes, and I started to basically meditate. It was the first time that I kind of like was in the nature. I just got into meditation, so I wasn't really like, I was kind of like turned off by it a little bit at the time. So I was like, I'm just gonna close my eyes and feel it. And then I heard like the sound of the wind. I could hear where it's at according to the sound, and I could feel the sun on my body, and it's just like all of a sudden I felt the sun and the wind, and it's like I felt the sun is giving me warmth and the wind is like hugging me, and then the bugs coming to show me love. And then all of a sudden, after 12 minutes, it took me like a split second to get this feeling. All of a sudden I felt my heart was filling up, and I felt this feeling of love, that it's everywhere around me and I'm part of it. Like it's everywhere around me and I'm part of it. And it just like took me like split second to figure it out. And then once I felt it, I could not unseen it. Then it was easier for me to know how this feeling feels like and practice more of that, connect to myself more and connect with everything around me, because it's everywhere. It's really everywhere. We're part of it, So that's where it started, with like the feeling of love in my heart. Loving myself, it was a healing journey, like really, really tough healing journey that I'm still going on, obviously, because it's never ending journey. Like literally, even when you're 80, you still have to heal. You still have to unravel some stuff. But I feel like the healing journey and really connect to yourself from the inside rather than seeking external validation. Like, for example, when I started my fitness journey, I was like always like super strict, like restricted with my calories, and always had this like number I wanted to see on the scale. And I was good with counting my calories. I was good with eating the number on the scale. But when I looked in the mirror, I did not love myself. I didn't love the person I saw in the mirror for real. I was like very harsh on myself. So I think it's really important to always, first of all, be compassionate with yourself and kind and loving to yourself, because there's literally like no one else is going to do it for you. And especially when you have like lows mentally, like you have to make sure you're there for yourself, especially in your lows. Like that's the most crucial time for you to be there for yourself. And so I think practicing presence for sure, 100%, and really coming from this place from the inside rather than seeking something from the outside. Oh, I need this person to love me. Oh, I wonder what they will think. Oh, I have this nice car for people to give me, whatever. But it's really more about coming from the inside. And what really helps me is therapy, practicing presence, and plant medicine ceremonies.
Plant medicine ceremonies.
Yes.
What tell?
Psychedelics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plant medicine ceremonies.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are psychedelics legal in Texas? Or anywhere, I guess?
No, but I mean, it is legal in Oregon. I mean, I guess it depends where and what, but you know, usually they do it like in also there's a lot of it in South America, and ayahuasca, psilocybin, all kinds of different. I mean, there's so many, like honestly, so many things, but
It's funny because it's so prevalent, whether it's psychedelics or weed or I don't know. I just forget. I forget sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, that's illegal still. Like it's crazy to me.
it's crazy because it's literally, I'm not even joking. It's the only thing that's going to save this world. It's crazy because the medicine has very powerful, and I'm not talking taking mushrooms at a party and get fucked up, because it's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about taking this powerful medicine and use it as a tool to heal and grow and connect to others, because the way you can connect to others with the medicine, it's like out of this world. It's something that I never knew in my life. And when you experience that, you're like, wow, I didn't know it exists. And wow, this is like insane, like how powerful and where it can take you and how it can heal you. Like one medicine journey can be like 5 years of therapy. And I mean, I know a lot of people are working on making it legal because because it's medicine. It's literally medicine. And not only mentally, but also physically to your body. You can access amazing things with the medicine, with whatever medicine, with your body, heart, mind, and spirit. So it's like 4 things on the wheel, and you can access different things with the help of the medicine. And what it does, it really helps you to see things that you can see, on a regular basis. It's basically, imagine, like, if I'll tell you, like, think about color that doesn't exist. You can't think of anything. It's not in your brain.
Jeez.
Yeah, right? You can't invent a color that does not exist.
Right.
Same thing. What the medicine does is it creates that new color that you couldn't think about, and now you can take this color and apply it to your life. And it can be with anything, with your business, it can be with your relationships, it can be with just the way you see yourself. I really developed my self-access, my confidence and strength from my feminine rather than a masculine, 'cause I was very much in my masculine in the past, from the medicine. It's very powerful.
I remember, I won't say who it was, but just in case, but one person told me his relationship with alcohol even completely shifted. And he didn't have I don't believe he had a bad relationship with alcohol, but like right now, I can look at anything on that shelf and I know that every single one of those has no redeeming value. None of it's going to make me healthier. None of it's doing anything good. Maybe someone would say something different and say like, oh, an ounce before bed is healthy for you, whatever. But I still consume it. And he said that after he did just one, what would you call it? Not a
ceremony?
One ceremony, he had this revelation, and everything that I just said became 100 times more real. I'm butchering what he said, but essentially, ever since that ceremony, he rarely drinks. He says it's like once or twice a year now, usually in a social setting, if that, and it was an easy switch.
Same, yeah. Same, and I have to say, like, with alcohol, so the difference is like, I mean, it's like a whole different. You can't even compare because it's like literally does the opposite. So the medicine helps you to connect to your core, to yourself. What alcohol does, it literally numbs you. It literally makes you not like avoid yourself and numb it, so you can become, this like fake, with like easier thing. So just to give you it's so funny you mentioned it, because last night I went out to dance with my sister, my brother-in-law, and my friend Jess, and we went to this DJ that we really like here, and this guy, he's like handing out. I haven't drank, like I don't drink alcohol at all. Usually when I go out, I'm just like completely sober. I don't take anything. I'm just like enjoying the music if it's music that I like.
Yeah.
And he just like had this like 2 drinks that he clearly bought it for me because I'm not stupid. And he's like, hey, I have this extra drink. Do you want it? He was like standing next to me the whole time. And I was like, no, I don't drink. Thank you though. And then he said like, oh, I have this extra now. Like, does one of your friends want it? I was like, no, they don't drink it either. And then and then he said, okay, what's your secret? Like, how come you don't drink? And I said, like, oh, I just connect to myself. And then he said, oh, yeah, I'm just drinking to numb the pain. And I was like, are you hitting on me right now? Like, is that what you're telling me? Like, just like,
He was either being very honest or he was trying to maybe make like a self-deprecating joke. But either way, that's a strange one.
it's a strange one. And I'm like, I'm like literally dancing, enjoying the music in a party, and like really like enjoying the music. And you are trying to have a conversation right now. Like, I don't like, it was very interesting. How, I don't know. It's just like, I mean, I just, things like that makes me look at alcohol like so even more like negative. I know alcohol is really negative thing, but I think it's just like looking at that and just like it just makes no sense to me how people consume it for so much. I don't think it's good for you in any way. I mean, yeah, of course, when you're doing socially, it's totally fine to have it every once in a while for the thing. But like having like hammered, blacked out on every weekend, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason that I forget that there are still substances that are illegal, because when you think about COVID, the gyms were all closed. All the liquor stores stayed open. Like, what? That was the most frustrating part of the pandemic for me, because COVID showed me that the gym was almost, I was questioning, do I have an unhealthy relationship with the gym? Because now that it's taken away, I was like, what do I do about my stress? What I ended up doing was I found a parking garage. I'd run up the stairs, get to the top, do lunges and push-ups, run back down, do that like 30 times, run across the street, not 30, like 5 times. Run across the street, do some pull-up bars on the kids' playground, so I do some pull-ups to work my back. So I made it work, but yeah, that was just, I don't know if it was similar here in Austin or in Vegas, but it just blew my mind that like we all had access to alcohol that entire time, but like, nope. Can't go to the gym.
Welcome to society. Hi. Hi. Doesn't make sense. There's a lot of things in our society that does not make any freaking sense.
All right. Let's go back to something you said when we were talking about how to love yourself. You said, show yourself some compassion. And sometimes I know what words mean, or I know when to use them in a sentence, but I like to look them up just to see what the exact definition is. And compassion is to have sympathetic concern for others. And I do wonder, how often do we take a moment to have sympathetic concern for myself about that thing that's making me depressed or anxious? Or let's say my boss chews me out at work. Do I take, time to work through that and to check in with myself? Or do I just go down a spiraling rage for the next 2 or 3 days until one of us apologizes? Or I'm sort of going off on a rabbit trail here, but I'm just agreeing with you. And when you look at that word compassion, do I take concern for where I'm at in life?
I totally follow you, and I think I think that's the thing with most people in the world. Don't take the time to take the compassion for themselves. And compassion, the way I see it, or loving yourself and have empathy towards yourself, it's towards the things that you love about yourself, your strength and your weaknesses. So no one is perfect. Hi, everyone. No one is perfect in this world.
What?
Yeah, I know. Right. Shocking, right? No one is perfect. And you have to love those things that are not perfect about you too. And, give themselves, like, you can hug them and give them also a space, because it's very important. Because otherwise, if you're not going to give that compassion to yourself, not only the people around you are going to suffer, from you, but also the main thing is you. You're not being mad and angry all day and rage for a week and be all like mad about life. It's not fun. No one likes it. It's not fun. So you can prevent it very easily. Just check in with yourself. So easy.
I'm going to change the subject a little bit. One of the things you said in your podcast is that when you switched to a plant-based diet, you felt more energy. Are you still on a plant-based diet?
Yeah, so I eat a lot of plant-based food, but I don't do 100% plant-based because I really believe I'm at this point where I really believe that your body knows what it wants. If your body wants meat, eat meat. If your body wants fish, eat fish. If you want, of course, I'm not talking about like, just like when you caught up in the vicious cycle of like, when you eat foods that are fast foods and stuff like that, you're going to crave more of that. So I'm not talking about like the cravings. I'm talking more about like, healthy things that that you need to fuel your body with the right nutrients, but your body will know what it needs. So I did definitely feel lighter when I did plant-based. I felt way stronger at the gym. I felt way lighter. That's why I love eating plant-based still, until this day. But I just like when COVID hit for me in 2021 of July 2021, I had a really, really bad COVID. Like I thought for 100%, I thought I was going to die. But I didn't die, and and so I feel like when I was during that time, I lost my taste and my smell, and all I was craving was fish. All I was craving was cottage cheese, chicken. I really wanted like animal products, and I was like eating it. And then since then I was like, oh, I just need to listen to our body, because a lot of times, especially if we're caught up in like diets and diet culture and we try to restrict ourselves, and it's completely doing the opposite of connecting to yourself. You completely disconnect to yourself. You don't listen to your body. You don't give your body what it needs, and your body's just not gonna flow with you. Your body's like, what the hell? Like, what do you want from me? Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what you want. Tell me what you want. I don't know. And then your body's not going to function if you try to lose weight or if you try to gain muscle and you don't bring your body what it needs. Your body's going to be like, what the hell am I supposed to do here? I don't know. Give me some sign. So when you give your body what it needs, it's going to flow with you.
I do. It's interesting because if you told me that you should only eat chicken and rice and broccoli for the rest of your life, it would never work. Mm-mm. You have to enjoy it from time. There's something specific that you said that made me have that thought. But the other thought I had was, if you told me, David, you should become a vegetarian because the meat industry is terrible and they treat the animals poorly, this might make me sound terrible, but I sort of go, I like meat. But if you tell me, David, you should try a vegetarian diet for a week because you will go to the gym and have more energy, do more weights, and your body will feel better, all of a sudden I'm like, tell me more.
Yeah, it's how you say it, right?
Right.
But I want to tell you about meat. Yeah, that is true. They put a lot of horrible things in our food, in meat. That is definitely true. But there is better choices for everything. Grass-fed, organic, these things, especially with like animal products, you want to be a little more careful there because, the hormones and all these things and again, if like, let's say, you don't have, because it's more expensive, obviously, then try to incorporate more plant-based food. You don't have to eat red meat, like grass-fed steak every single day. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Have a little balance there, and I think it's important not only for your nutrition, for your health, but also it's very important for the way it's gonna make you feel really good and the energy that you're gonna have. And there's a lot more. Even the cookies and ice creams, like there's so many. Usually cookies and ice cream, we think of cookies and ice cream as something really bad, right? Mm-hmm. Bad. I don't like to use bad as food, but something that is unhealthy for you that's gonna make you fat, which doesn't make any sense too. But there are even cookies and ice creams. There are better products that uses cleaner ingredients. So when you talk about ingredients, you always want to make sure that the ingredients that you read in your food, the ingredients list, you want to make sure you can actually pronounce it. You can actually read it, so your body can read it as well. Because if there's something that you cannot read, your body probably not going to be able to read it. So your body's going to be like, what the hell is this? I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to store it here as fat, And so I feel like sometimes there are products that are marketed as healthy, like high protein, 0 sugar, 0 calories, and then you literally read the ingredients list and you find a bunch of ingredients that you can't even pronounce. And that's a really big problem. Those ingredients can cause cravings, unnecessary cravings. They can cause digestive issues. They can cause, in the long run, if you consume a lot of it, it can cause like even chronic diseases like diabetes or blood pressure or other, cancer, like things like that in the future, in the long run, if you having it like on heavily,
I have not fact checked this, so I'm going to say something with. I wanted you to look at these. I'm saying this. Take it with a grain of salt because I don't know if it's true or not. But I've heard that in some like chips and crackers, there's actually an ingredient that they put in there on purpose because it literally increases your craving for it. And that's why you sometimes find yourself going through a whole bag of chips. So like what I do, I don't know if that's true or not, but like if I buy chips, I'll buy the individually packaged ones because I do really like chips, but then I just stop myself with one bag. Whereas if I was to buy the big bag of chips,
it's a good idea.
I just freaking consume that thing.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
a good
easy.
idea. And there are chips that are better in terms of ingredients. There are, that made with like avocado oil rather than seed oil. Seed oils are very processed and they cause like a lot of health problems. But the thing with, so let's see, these cookies. See,
These
it
are
says
Alyssa's Healthy Vegan Bites, and I wanted to show them to you because this is an Austin-based podcast. These are sold at all HEBs. I've never looked at the ingredients list. I just think that they're tasty, they're a good price, and it's an easy item for me for breakfast. But you tell me, what do you think? Are these Healthy Vegan Bites actually healthy?
Yeah, so it's called Healthy Vegan Bites. It says gluten-free, non-GMO, high fiber, no sugar added, omega-3 flax, no dairy, no trans fat, no soy, no preservatives added, made with natural ingredients, heart healthy oats. So all these things are great keywords. Now let's see about
Let's see if they're
let's see
what
if it's
is in there,
legit.
though.
What's in the ingredients? So we have gluten-free whole grains rolled oats, which is good. Ground whole oats, good. Oat bran, it's okay. Cherokee root fiber, it's fine. Dried fruits, it's okay, totally. There's cranberries, black currants, and unsweetened coconut dates. Organic palm fruit oil. So yeah, organic palm fruit oil wouldn't be my favorite thing, but it's really not like I think actually it's pretty clean. Filtered water, organic coconut oil, or ground flax seeds, natural flavors, which usually natural flavors, we want to be a little careful with that one because we never know what it means. So that means under those keywords, they can put literally whatever under that. But, you don't know. Like sometimes it'll be nothing serious, but sometimes, There's a lot of times that can be MSG, vanilla extract, psyllium husk, chia seeds, and baking soda. So about this specific product, I believe that this is pretty good. And the reason I'm saying it is because I'm looking at all the other ingredients. And so I don't think that the natural product will be really fucked up. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's really an okay product. So it's pretty impressive. I'm kind of like, I really like these ingredients. It's okay. And then you have the macronutrients, like that's going to be the next thing that you want to look at, especially if you try to lose weight or be in balance. So for 4 servings, there's 90 calories, and so one serving, it's about 2 cookies. For 2 cookies, I don't know, like I kind of like mix with like how they do it here, but if that's 90 calories for 2 cookies, I don't think it makes sense. Because I would be really surprised if that's the case. Because that's really low calories for 2 cookies. Usually 1 cookie like that would be like 100 calories or 1 cookie like that. I'm gonna have to taste it and see the sugar in it, like how sweet. Because also there's no added sugar.
You want to try one?
Yeah, I'll
Go
try
for
it. I'll try it after, so
Okay.
we're not gonna eat in people's mouth. Not gonna eat in people's ears. Yeah.
For sure. I'll send you some with in some
ASMR.
bags.
Oh, I actually like it.
It's sort of cool, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. But so every now and then we'll pop open on it.
Yeah.
Do you want another one, or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, one other recipe that I wanted to show you. So this is my vegetarian recipe. I love it, but can you read out what it's called on the top right there? For the
Okay.
audience?
Yeah. Honey, miso, sweet potatoes, and shroom jumbo. Oh, that sounds amazing. Over lime rice with zucchini, creamy chili sauce. So, okay, we have miso sauce concentrate, which is probably the sauce that comes with the package. Red onions, mushrooms, sesame seeds. We have jasmine rice, honey, mayonnaise, chili sauce, and fried seasoning, and zucchini, sweet potato, lime, and ginger. So I'm pretty sure that the sauce is packaged. However, with the packaged sauce, I don't know what. Do you know what they put in the packaged sauce?
So I got my own. This is essentially the same thing. And this is where it sneaks up on you, is because this sauce is so good. So when I look at that recipe, I think this is very healthy. And I ate a bunch of it one night, and I was feeling more bloated than I thought I should. And I thought, this is bloated. It's not just the rice and potatoes. This is like something else. So I look at this bottle, and in 1 tablespoon, there's 480 milligrams of sodium. And when I cook with this stuff, I take the bottle off and I'm just like, here we go.
Oh my God.
I probably put in like 4 or 5 tablespoons. So I ruined it from a health perspective. Like, it tastes great and there's no meat, but there's 2,500 milligrams of sodium.
That's a lot.
I know.
That's
why reading labels is so important, so you know what's in your own kitchen.
Yeah, stuff like that. People really fall in between the chairs with stuff like that, like sauces? Also, with this meal, where's the protein?
There is none. So that's
it's carbs on carbs.
That's my favorite
so you just do your own
vegetarian meal.
Oh, okay.
I don't add meat. I eat it exactly as it says there.
Okay, so okay. You can also do it in a lower carb version. So instead of regular rice, you could do cauliflower rice. And that's going to be lighter and then you still have the carbs from the sweet potatoes. I usually personally don't like to put carbs on carbs because just a lot of carbs, and the balance with the macros and the meals is important, because when you don't get your protein in enough, like your macros, it's going to make you crave later because you're just not satisfied. But no, this is a really good meal. I would definitely try that even with like the cauliflower rice and add some chicken to it, or tofu or some kind of protein.
I remember I went somewhere recently and there was something on the menu that looked so good, but it was just carbs and carbs. I think it's like breaded chicken over a pasta or something. It's like,
yeah,
it's too much.
It sounds heavy.
Let's see. Are you still doing Zoom training?
No, I don't really
Basically
do that.
Everything's in person.
No, I don't do person. No, I don't do online. I do online training. I build programs for people online. I work with an app.
Okay.
And so basically what I'll do is I'll build a workout program for you that, every day, let's say if today's Saturday, you have like a chest and triceps. So you enter the workout, you have like a little 10-second video for each exercise, and then I'll write you how many reps, how many sets, how much weight. And I put the workouts for you according to who you are, the equipment that you have available, the time that you have available, whether if you want to do it at home or at the gym, and to your specific goals. So my programs, what I give to my clients, I work with 5 pillars that are very, very important to make sure that you get to where you want to get to, but not only get to where you want to get to, but make it a long living, sustainable lifestyle in a way that you actually enjoy. So nutrition is the first thing. So I'm building meal plans for people that I have like different recipes for each option. So 4 options for each meal with like recipes that are very easy. And then, the thing with nutrition, I really focus on ingredients and help with buying groceries, a lot of mindful eating focus to really overcoming those negative patterns with snacking and stuff like that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the training through the app. And then there is accountability to make sure that you're doing what you need to do. So, because, you can have the perfect program, but if you don't do it, you're not going to see results. Right. Duh, right? Duh. So, and then the next thing is, the education is really important. So I really like to educate about ingredients, about, why you're doing this muscle first and those muscle second. So, because I feel like when you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, you're automatically going to connect to it better. And then it's just going to come more naturally, right? Yeah. So that's another thing that's important. And the last thing is the mental health, to always make sure that you don't have limiting beliefs. Because I found, I had a client in the past that she had limiting beliefs, and she did not see results because of that. It was like a year and a half ago, and I talked to her, and we were like, oh, what do you, I asked her, what do you tell yourself when you look in the mirror? And then she said things like, I'm never going to achieve my goals. I'm always going to stay fat. And I was like, okay, that's what we need to work on, literally. Because she did everything. She did the program. And then we did that. And then after 2 weeks, she started seeing amazing results. So mental health, it's something that we like mental health, nutrition, and fitness. It's like a triangle that each one of them affect the other directly. If you have one of them not in place, it's gonna affect the other two, or the other way around. It's really, really, really important to make sure you know how to show up for yourself. It's like a snowball.
I was thinking was if the only one of those three things they had was mental health, but they didn't have fitness or nutrition, that would be sort of backwards, right?
Yeah, and
Can you imagine someone who's mentally healthy, but they never exercise and they only eat junk food all day? Maybe they wouldn't be that mental. I don't think you can.
I don't think you
that
can.
That person doesn't exist.
I don't think you can. I mean, I don't know, but I don't. It's just because when you eat like processed food all day and when you don't move your body, like I'm having a hard time to believe that it can be something that that you'll feel happy. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I think processed food literally affects you. Like I mean, I know I used to eat processed food. I used to eat food that's not healthy at all, and it really affected the way I saw life. I was a very negative person. And, just changing my habits with nutrition really changed the way my outlook on life. But I don't know. Everybody's different. Maybe there is a person like that. I don't know. Maybe. Having a hard time to believe, but I don't know.
What's emotional eating?
Emotional eating is when you eat out of sadness or, just like when you basically use food as a coping mechanism where you're sad or stressed or even bored or anything emotional or angry that you go to eat rather than dealing with your emotions. Basically, eating rather than dealing with your emotions.
And you felt like you did that for a while at some point in your life?
Oh yeah, I was eating out of sadness a lot or just needing to feel love. Food gave me love, in a way. So I really connecting to myself and doing the work and the healing work really helped me to just nourish my emotions in different ways. And something interesting that I noticed when I started working on my emotional eating, I noticed that on the third day I was very, very emotional because I didn't turn to food. So I just let the emotion come up. Because if you think about it, when emotion comes up and you eat, you literally bring that down. Like the act of eating, it's pushing it down. So instead of letting it out and express itself, and it's okay to be sad, we're supposed to have feelings, and I think it's just like suppressing the emotion. So just if you think about it, there are 3 hunger types. Okay, there's like the stomach hunger, which is the real hunger from your stomach. There's heart hunger, and there's mouth hunger. So heart hunger is when you eat not because you're actually hungry, but because you just use it as a coping mechanism. And when you're mouth hunger, it's like when you crave certain texture or it was social pressure where everybody goes out to a restaurant and you're like, oh, I have to eat, or you smell something really good, so you're like, oh my God, I have to eat it, So just to be aware of these three, once you're aware, when you want to eat something and you're aware, like, what is it first? Like, what kind of hunger do I have right now? And then you at least aware. And then when you're aware, the awareness is already more than 50%. So once you're aware, you can really work with things. But there's a lot more to how to, take the right steps and tools to overcome that. It's easier than it seems. Sorry, not easier. I would say it's very simple. But because, usually emotional eating, it's something that starts from a very, very, very young age. So obviously it's not something you can just change overnight. It's something that takes a little more time, but with the right steps, it can definitely, you become free forever. And once you healed it, once you did it, it cannot be unseen.
I believe that there was, I forget where I saw it, and so I wish I could give you better context, but I can't. It may have been you know what I think it was? I think one of the episodes from your podcast was along the lines of something that everyone should remove from their diet. Do you remember that one by chance and what that item was?
Yeah, what you need to remove from your diet?
Yeah.
So that was a tricky one. So basically, I started that by doing First of all, I want to focus on what you need to add to your diet, because diet culture will tell you 90% what you need to remove from your diet and 10% what you need to add to your diet.
Interesting.
And yeah, it was the tricky part. And then the way I do it and the way it should be in the world is to flip it around. So you want to focus 10% of what you need to remove from your diet and 90% what you need to add to your diet. So, you want to make sure your balance is plate, that you have your healthy carbs, complex carbs, protein, veggies, healthy fats. And once you do that with the mindful eating and you really notice the ingredients, you're there. And what to remove from your diet? Nothing. You don't need to remove anything from your diet. Just be mindful, have a balanced diet, and eat mindfully, and make sure the ingredients that you consume are clean. That's like my top 3 things. And then it's a long living lifestyle and you don't feel restricted, or you just feel free. Because imagine, like, we're on this earth for such little bit amount of time, like few hundred years, like, I don't know, 100 years, like, right? Why suffering?
Yeah.
We like food. Like, why suffering with like restrictions? We can have whatever we want in a better version. That's fine. Just focus on balance and mindful eating and read your ingredients. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I love to eat. It's got to be good. And even after this, like, I'm probably going to cook some. This one would take a lot longer. I'm not going to do that one. That one's going to take too long. But like, one of the recipes I got this week is I'm going to make some pork, and I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in there. And I got a Asian it's like sesame salad kit. I'm basically going to take the pork, throw it in a tortilla, put the salad kit on top, put some of the sauce on top. They're so good.
Yeah, sounds good.
And that's not that bad.
Yeah, it's
Maybe the tortilla. The tortilla could be a little bit better. But
I mean,
just
tortilla,
love
you can-
tortillas.
No, I love tortillas too, and same with everything. Like I said about cookies, you can find tortillas that are better in terms of ingredients.
Yeah.
For sure. There are a lot of tortillas that are really good.
Yeah. Anything else that you think would be really important to cover, or something before we move on from nutrition that you'd like to say, highlight?
I think we covered it. Like mindful eating, balanced eating. That's pretty much like my top 2 things.
Yeah.
about
And
it.
so your clients can be, because you're doing work through the app, they can be anywhere in the US.
Oh, they can be anywhere in the
anywhere in
US,
the world,
anywhere
I
in the
guess.
world, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about social media for a quick minute?
Yes, of course.
You had what seemed to be a really booming account. You had like 20,000 followers, over 2,000 posts. You started a new account. Why?
Yeah. Because my algorithm in my old account on Instagram was pretty bad. So I would post 2 pieces of content every single day, and I didn't get, like, no one saw my content. Like, all my followers, no one saw my content. If you see the number of people that saw my things, it's like very small amount. And first of all, I had a lot of followers from Israel, so I feel like it kind of like fucked up my algorithm. And also just like a lot of like followers that are not followers. So I realized that it really fucked up my algorithm. Like people that are not my ideal clients, you know? People that are not my ideal clients are, you know, it's just, you can have like million, like 2 million, like I don't know how many million followers, but you know, and really not having the ideal clients, or like just like not be successful with it. But you can have like, now I have like only 400 clients, and I feel like way more people see my stuff, and I have more of my ideal clients, or just people that supports me, rather than before that it's just like, you know. So I feel like it's so funny because if I'll show you like the analytics, you'll see like my old account has like reached in the last month like maybe like, I don't know, like 1,000 people, and my new account with the 400 followers, it reached like 15K people in the last month.
Interesting.
So it's like, and that's what they always, you know, say about social media. Because if you do social media just to be and seen, for no purpose, I mean, I guess like just to not, I mean, I guess depends. For me, in my case, like I'm using social media as a source for me to generate leads and to, you know, have them as clients and you know, become my clients and make money, right? And help as many people as I can. But, you know, you can have like such like more like less amount of people that are more quality rather than a lot of people that are zero quality. And it's like, what would you want as someone who's using social media as a source of clients, generation. So the number doesn't really matter. But it was scary to do that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I ask is because I know that I know for a fact there are people listening who have similar intentions. I'm a good example. I don't care how many likes a post gets. What I care about is, do any of those people convert to listeners? So one of my friends told me I should be on TikTok. So I fired up a TikTok account. I put a post on there. Ignored I think I went to the gym and then came home, showered, cooked a meal, literally hadn't looked at my phone for like 4.5 hours. Opened up TikTok just to see what had happened. And the post got 700 views and 70 likes, something like that. And I thought, that's interesting. So I've been now posting regularly and figured it's not going to hurt anything, right? It's a little bit of my time. Let's see if anyone converts. And as I've been watching the numbers on Spotify and iHeartRadio and YouTube and all the places you can find this podcast, not a single one of them is converting over to listeners. Because it tells me whether you listen for 5 seconds or the whole episode, and none of them are converting over. So I'm constantly doing that balancing act of, where is an efficient use of my time to get people to listen to the podcast, and where am I just wasting my time? Because I want to be efficient. So yeah, it's just something I'm always looking at. It's, is anyone converting to listeners? Just like you were saying, all right, cool, this post got 100 likes, whatever. Did I get a new client out of it though?
Yeah. I feel like with TikTok, it really, think about your audience. Are they on TikTok? I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah. I think TikTok would be good for you. For me, for example, like, TikTok is not really great for me because my ideal client usually is not going to be on TikTok. Maybe a little bit, but not really. More on Instagram and Facebook groups.
It's funny because the people that are my 3 biggest fans so far are all 3 males, one 11, the other 19, the other 31. And it made me, I know this is very early. We're only
first month, no?
Yeah, it's the first month. But the data would show so far, I'm like, is that going to be my audience? Like younger men between 10 and 30.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I think with that, and also, with posting on social media, consistency. You just have to show up and continue I started YouTube 3 months ago, and the thing is, I don't do it to get as many subscribers as I want. I just do it because I genuinely want to put myself out there, and I genuinely want to share my thing. And also, even if it's for me, or for if I ever have kids and they can see videos of their mom, it's really cool to have this as an asset, right?
Yes.
And I really enjoy doing it. I'm not stressing about people listening, because that's gonna happen when you're genuine, which you are, and you put yourself and your heart in something that you enjoy doing. It's gonna happen. I really believe that authenticity is very missing in this world, and that's something that people are looking for, and that's something you definitely have. And it's just to show up and just consistently doing it. The way that I do it with my content, I feel like when I used to do it in the beginning, like in the past, it was very overwhelming, because every single day, to post something every single day, almost like a chore.
Yeah.
So the way I do it today, because I took this course for social media specifically, and she was talking about, her name is Vanessa Lau, and I took her course. So she's teaching how to basically manage your time in a way that you schedule, you prepare your content. So instead of trying to film every day or edit every day, try to have a day for that you that you do all of that, and then you schedule everything in advance if you can. And then it's just let's say if you schedule for the whole month, imagine how much time it saves you. Just dedicate one Sunday, for example, for scheduling, and then you have a whole month of peace. You don't need to think about it.
Yeah, that's such a good idea, and you would never guess what I did last night.
Is that what you did?
Yep.
Oh,
it took
awesome.
me 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And on TikTok, I don't know if you can schedule. If you can, sweet, I'll do that tonight. But what I did was all the clips have been created. So I created a batch of 20 clips, edited them, cut it, put in what I wanted, put in the ending. I did all of it. It took me 3 hours, but the fact that I know I have a post for tonight, tomorrow, and for like the next 10 days, and I don't have to think about it, it just feels so good.
I know, it is.
So if you do it for no other reason than just like the relief that that sort of work is done.
You know, on TikTok, you can just prepare them on draft and then just post them. If you can't schedule, you can prepare everything on draft and then just post them. And another thing I wanted to tell you, which I think will help you also, and whoever listens that they do content too. Have you heard of video AI?
No.
So if you have long form videos and you want to turn it to like short clips to TikTok or even shorts on YouTube, which I think you should get on there as well. And YouTube or Instagram, you go to video AI and you just cut the snips. So from every single YouTube video that I have, I extract like 10 short forms that I do through video AI. It's video with like YO, not like video with IO at the end. And so that basically helps me, and it puts like the subtitles and like the captions, you know, it puts everything there. And it's really easy. You just cut it.
So I wonder if my editing software does that already, because this is how I do it currently. So I might be doing that.
Oh.
This video goes into the editing software. And then what I do is I turn on the conversation, and when there is a section that I like, I just pull it out. I click a button to add captions. At the very end, I make a quick transition so that our voices fade out instead of going out at full volume. And then I hit publish, and the clip is done. So each clip takes me maybe 2 minutes. So it sounds like I might be already doing that. I just didn't realize that that's what it...
I didn't know. I guess they're coming with more stuff like that, AI.
Because this is an AI, the company that I go through says that they are a AI-driven editing company. Okay. Very few people work there. They're like under 100 employees.
Interesting. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing it. That's awesome.
It seems very efficient.
Yeah.
It's called Descript, if anyone wants to check it out.
Descript.
I will say they are not perfect. It has also been one of the biggest sources of my frustration is the platform crashing in the middle of an episode. It just happened last week, whatever time I recorded last. It saves everything, but what it does is it separates the audio and the video, and then you have to put it back together manually, and it's a giant pain in the butt. And it's stressful to be an hour and 52 minutes in, and the platform shuts down, and you have that moment of just, did we just lose all of that?
Oh my God.
Because we can't recreate that. Because to your point, I feel like the conversations are genuine. So how could you and me, if we lost all this right now, we could never recreate this. We would just have to do a brand new episode in a month or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're working out their kinks. They're a brand new company, but they also only charge about $24 a month, and that's why I like them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and I think it's very important to know, you know, when you're starting, don't focus on the fancy stuff. It's something that I learned also, you know, with my YouTube video. I literally take the YouTube videos with my phone. So it's where I'm at, you know, like I don't think there's need to invest in too many things that are super, super fancy. Because that could be a huge, stressor, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I will say I really like this box.
No, I mean, you're...
But you're 100% right. You do not need the lights. I went above and beyond because I wanted the guests and the audience to be able to see for themselves. This is not something I'm not taking seriously.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's...
I'm invested.
Yeah, yeah, you could see it for sure. And that's an important way to show it, to see it, to feel it also for you, for yourself.
Yeah. But to your point, one of my friends, I met him at the gym. It's funny, we were sitting at the sauna. We got up to having a conversation, and right before we both left, he said, "Hey, I just started a podcast. Would you listen?" And I said, "If you'll do the same for me, because I'm in the same boat." So we've now become friends, exchanged numbers, worked out together a few times. But to your point, the only thing he has bought is a mic, the XLR cable, and the stand. And then he got his phone, and I don't even think he got a tripod. I think he just leans it up against like a candle or a book. And so he doesn't have any of this, and the audio sounds fantastic.
Oh, wow.
So you can do it if you're thinking, I guess, for starting a podcast or creating content in general. This is all you need.
Choose your phone, yeah.
This is all you need.
Yeah.
And maybe some headphones to help cancel out noise. But outside of that, We all have it already. Just start making stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Just show up. Just press record.
2, maybe 3 questions for you to wrap this up. If you could go back in time and speak with 10-year-old Hanna, 12-year-old Hanna, maybe even 17-year-old Hanna when you were not on the streets, but you were just in that, not the ideal place in life. If you could go back and have 5 minutes with her, what would you say?
It's a great question. So many things. But I think the main thing is I would tell her that she's very strong and always to have that, like, connect to the inside, connect to myself, connect to yourself, and have this strength building up inside of you, and do not seek external validation. It's within you.
Do not seek external validation. We all want that so bad. Yeah. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, you have no idea who my next guest is. No idea who this person is. What's a question that you would like me to ask them?
What was something in your life that was very like a bad situation that you got out of? Like, meaning like something that you overcame that you can give yourself a pat on the back for it.
I like that.
Yeah.
If someone hears this and they wanted to work with you or at least have a conversation with you, actually that's a 2-part question. Part number 1, let's say someone hears this and they don't want to work with you, they don't want to hire you as a trainer, but they would just love to have your ear for 20 minutes and have a phone call. Is that something you'd be willing to give?
Yeah, sure.
How would that person find you?
A phone call? For a phone call?
Well, not their phone number, but like, what's your Instagram handle?
Oh,
or
yeah.
What's a very easy way to get in front of you if someone wanted to reach out?
Yeah, so my Instagram is at Hanna.healthy, so Hanna no H at the end. I think that would be the best way to reach me, as well as I have my YouTube channel, which is Hanna Healthy, Hanna no H at the end. And but yeah, I think Instagram would be the best way to DM me and reach me.
Okay, cool. And if you didn't catch that, what I'll do is I'll take a screenshot of her Instagram page and I'll put it on the YouTube version of this episode. So if you want, just jump over to YouTube real quick right now, rewind 30 seconds, and you'll be able to see that. And then similar question, if someone wanted to work with you as a client, or they think at least let's have it like an initial conversation, same place, Instagram or YouTube, or do you have like a website that they should go to send you a message?
Yeah, so in my Instagram, there's a link in my bio, but it's basically hannahealthy.com. So if you go to Hanna Healthy, again, Hanna no H at the end, hannahealthy.com, you can find where you can schedule a call or get some freebies. I have like this thing with like over 50 nutritious bowls ideas. It's like a PDF that I created. There's my basically page where you can learn more about my services and everything in hannahealthy.com.
Awesome. The podcast, is it still going?
So the podcast, I put it on pause because I really want to focus on YouTube.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I can't do it all, right?
What's it called though?
My podcast?
Yeah.
It's just Hanna Healthy.
Just Hanna Healthy?
Yeah.
I listened to 2 episodes last night, and even just the titles of the episodes, I really loved them, and I'm probably going to listen to more. So while the podcast is paused, still go over to the platform anyways, check out some of the episodes, and if you like the episodes, do her a favor. It's live on Spotify. Click that 5-star review. It takes a second of your time to do that and to boost it a little bit.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Hanna, this was so good.
Yes.
I'm so grateful you came over. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
Before we go, I have a request to make of everybody that what I just said about Hanna's podcast, I would love for this thing to go wide to someone who maybe is emotionally eating right now, to that same child who lives in a family where they don't say I love you, where they don't give them a hug. And I want them to see this bright, shining star and see that there is hope, that you can have that maybe it takes the courage of leaving your home at 14, which might sound terrifying. Maybe it means joining the military because you know you're a schmuck and you need to learn some things, and your parents aren't doing it, so maybe the military can help you out. But I am on a mission that the right child, the right teenager that needs to hear this episode hears it. And the only way they're going to do that is going to take nothing from you except 30 seconds of your time. Go to Spotify, hit the 5 stars, then go over to Apple Podcasts, find David's Saturday Night Sit Back, scroll down past all the episodes, and you'll see a place where it says leave a review. Hit the 5-star button, and I think Apple Podcasts does require you to put in one word, so just put in great job, or if you wanted to leave a few sentences to encourage me, it seriously does light a fire under my ass. So if you wanted to say a few sentences about what you thought about this episode, please do that as well. Outside of that, thank you so much, everyone who listened. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Please give Elle a giant thank you for introducing us. I'm
yeah.
so grateful that she did that. And that's it. Have a healthy and happy Saturday night, everybody.
Woo. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Bye.